Yes, children. Uh, Good morning. First two headings I covered what are resources, and then after that, this is the next heading that is development of resources. Development of resources are vital for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. Means in our society there are many types of people, there are different life standards, and they are leading the life. But a good life, a comfortable life, uh, a life with full of interaction of knowledge is a good life. And resources are helpful in this concern for its vitality. For its vitality. And if the resources are developed, we can develop our quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. Definitely, nature is charging nothing from the human being for sunlight, for air, for fertile soil, for wood, for metals, anything. Nature has not charged anything from human. So, this is the free gift of nature. And for our needs, it is often said that nature has a lot for our need, but have nothing for our greed. It is also said regarding this subject. As a result, as human beings use them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. Means no one was obstructed, as this is the free gift of nature, so human has used it in abundance without any prohibition, and this has led to the following major problems. Means the human being has not used resources that are given by nature free of cost, so they had done the wrong behalf. It created many problems. They exercised greed over nature. As a result, depletion of resources for satisfying greed of a few individuals. Few individuals means all are not greedy, but few individuals, they fulfilled their need. I will say they misused the resources of the nature. Means they want to say that if I have a thirst sore, I will say thirsty throat, and I need a glass of water, so I must use only a glass of water, and I will not, I will say, waste the precious resource, free resource of nature. But people, they had, human being, they had misused the resources, and it resulted in the depletion. हिंदी में आपने सुना होगा क्या कि साईं इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुम्ब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं साधु ना भूखा जाए. बट लोगों ने क्या किया? पीपल misused the resources. They had, I will say, created greed for those resources because there was no obstacle in using it. Another problem that is created is accumulation of resources. Accumulation of resources. This is another problem. So, accumulation of resources in few hands means the resources that are given to you free of cost by nature. One should not misuse the resources. If all the resources are left in one hand, definitely others will die hungry. So all have to be given equal opportunity. But resources came in few hands, and which in turn divided the society into two segments: haves and have nots, the rich and poor. When all resources are accumulated in one hands and one will without the resource, it created problem like I will say this type of problem, many problems. Means if I have money, uh, if I have ample amount of wheat and I stored, and fewer people are those who don't have even to fetch their stomach. So this is the accumulation of resources, and I will say misuse of resources. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources led to global ecological crisis. Another thing, human being generated greed regarding resources, and it created an ecological crisis. How? Global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. These all are the examples of indiscriminate exploitation of resources. Global warming means overcutting of the, I will say, trees, and ozone layer depletion. Carbon dioxide has increased in the atmosphere. It created the ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and most of the vehicles and industrial chimneys, they are continuously leaving the most smoke in the atmosphere, and it is creating environmental pollution and land degradation. And land degradation. And land degradation. Land degradation means overuse of the soil. Environmental pollution means releasing CO2 in the atmosphere. Ozone layer depletion, excess of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and global warming, excess cutting of the trees. These are the problems created by human being for themselves, and regarding development, they had done all these wrong things. An equitable distribution of resources. An equitable distribution of resources has become essential for sustained quality of life. Definitely, all resources are equally distributed to the human beings so that all may survive, I will say survive, and they are not accumulated in one hand at any cost by the law or by power. Each should be distributed all the resources equally. This might be the way. So, and it is the sustained way of life that each and everyone go get the benefit of the resources that are lying in nature, and it will also help global peace. If the present trend of resources depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. Means human being in today's scenario, they are exploiting the resources in greed, and this greed will take us to the depletion of earth, to the end of life, if the same way is adopted by some individuals as accumulation of resources. They will enjoy and rest others will survive, suffer the problem. Therefore, resource planning is essential for sustainable existence of all forms of life. So that resource planning is necessary. Planning means all the resources are equally distributed among the human beings. Sustainable existence of life means each should get the basic need without any hindrance, without any interruption, so that they may also lead the life. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. Sustainable existence means, I will say, one can lead their life easily. That can be said sustainable existence. Is a component of sustainable development. If we are just fetching our basic needs, then it will never destroy the atmosphere, and the development is also be good. Sustainable development. We must what does it is saying? Sustainable development, that one should not create greed at any cost. Just take the basic needs from nature and don't create greed. This is the resource development of the time. Here are some activities given. You do and find. Sustainable development. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment. And what is sustainable development? Means when you do development, achieve development from nature, they must be careful that nature should not be exploited. That is the real development. That type of development is called sustainable. And development in the present should not compromise the needs of the future. One thing more, it doesn't mean that you just fulfilled your basic needs and you can do your work. We must be careful about the future generations also, so they may also get the facilities, the free gifts of nature. Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first International Earth Summit. Was convened for addressing urgent problems of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. Okay. Uh, these problems are discussed in that summit. I will say, and the assembled leaders signed the declaration in global climate change. The assembled leaders signed in the declaration, उन्होंने घोषणा में साइन किया on global climate change, boundary, जलवायु परिवर्तन and biological diversity. The assembled leaders signed a declaration on global climate change and biological diversity. Change and biological diversity. The Rio Convention endorsed the Global Forest Principle adopted in 2021 for achieving sustainable development in diversity. So, what was done in the summit? Forest principles and sustainable development. Agenda 21. It is a declaration signed by world leaders in 1992 at the United Nations Conference on the Environment and Development, which took place in Rio de Janeiro. It aims at achieving global sustainable development. It is an agenda to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interest, mutual needs, and shared responsibilities. One major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. I think you all understood what is Agenda 21. So, this Agenda 21 is, what is it? Achieving global sustainable development. It is an agenda to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation, common interest, mutual needs, and shared responsibilities. One major objective of the Agenda 21. Now, here is the completion of this heading. Here is the completion of this. Completion of